There's one saying that sort of goes around as the more you play with, the bigger it gets. But there's another saying that goes, the bigger it gets, the more it gets played with. And, well, that's what happens with my CJ. And we were out playing in the desert, sort of racing each other. And long story short, probably a combination of a lot of things, ended up breaking the front end. It happens. We play hard, we break hard. So what I need to do is I need to pull the front end apart really quick and rebuild the front end. But before doing that, I actually want to talk about something else. And that is front hubs, locking hubs. And 100% advocate for having locking hubs. Be able to unlock and lock makes a world difference. You break it, just unlock your hub, and you keep moving seconds. You can do the lockouts, or the Puks, as people call it, that you can still undo them, but it just takes more effort. In theory, they're stronger, which is not a bad thing. But, I mean, I've been running hubs probably for a good, almost my entire team, well, like the entire off-road career. Ran either worn hubs or super winch hubs, and over the entire term, I've maybe broke 3 or 4. Which is, I mean, if you think that doesn't sound bad, but the problem I'm having is, of that 3 or 4, I broke almost all of them in the last 9 months, 2 or 3, and I actually, in my last trip alone, I broke 2 hubs. And I think there's a problem happening. And, you know, people say that's the COVID build. And it could be that. Materials were short and people started using cheaper materials to get things done. But I have a real problem here, and I got to figure out what we're going to do. And that is, I need to find hubs that are not going to shatter when they're used. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. I need hubs that are going to be able to handle the impact, be able to take that beating, and keep on going. I was a huge fan of the older hubs because they were all cast steel or even billet steel, so that machine steel, and super strong. And what sort of happened is recently, they seem to be cast aluminum. So we're going to dig into this, figure out the problem, and try to come up with a solution. So let's get started. So on the passenger hub, I actually had to go ahead and disassemble it. And this is the one that took 0 impact. And the fact that it cracked away, the way the cracks looks like it was actually a stress crack. And not from an impact, but actually from the stress of that one tire having to get me out of outer limits on its own weight. Completely not carrying the other side, as the other side's actual shaft was broken. So just the sheer stress of that sprocket inside pushing out as it was working hard caused that hub to shatter like that. I ended up I took it off in the desert. I pulled the inner pieces out because I had to make sure it was completely disengaged after I was out of the trail, and I couldn't get it to fully disengage once I got off the trail. I wanted to stop the front end from completely spinning because I didn't want that axle to potentially break anything else. So, you know, it's just part of the fun, part of the game, how, you know, what we do. The more you play with, the bigger it gets. The more we play with it, easier it gets damaged. So what I need to do now is we're going to go ahead and start pulling everything off and really dig down deep into figuring out what actually happened. Aluminum, steel, aluminum, steel, aluminum. But let's get this thing apart. Okay. As you can see, the hub internals are great. The sheer fact that the lockout in popped off is concerning. And honestly, I have no idea where it ended up at. I got the other side in the Jeep because I took it off because I couldn't unlock the hub. But this side, like someone on Ireland was searching for it. I searched for it, but there was people driving through. And, you know, we don't risk that kind of stuff out here, man. So it's got to be safe. Might be noticing those nice orange reed knuckles. I haven't had time to do alignment yet. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, go back and find Devil's Canyon. End up breaking the front knuckle off the Jeep right in the middle of the trail in an easy place, as weird as it sounds. I think that's why the axle might have broke. Stress. The knuckle broke, sort of fell like this a little bit, but just the axle hit one something, bound. You know, and this old girl might not be the prettiest thing, but she has a lot of torque. And a lot of torque breaks things easily. Let's get this stuff apart so I can get this axle out and get the new axle in. Oh, you say pull the axle out? I must have missed that story. Look at this. It wants to come out of place so bad, it almost came out all in one piece. Spindle, there's bearings inside, make sure you grease those. Oh, come on, baby. Alright, so what you didn't see off camera is I just gave it a little wet tap. And I was able to get enough just to get that ear out. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna keep this, straighten this back up, and keep it as a spare. This is healthy enough to be used as a spare. Okay, that's my failure point, if you were wondering. Alright, so we have the old axle out, ready to slide in the new axle. We're going to replace everything with Yukon today, so I'll go ahead and put hubs back on so I can engage and disengage as needed. We're going to try out these super joints. It's really known for being beefy, so I think it could be worthwhile. And of course we got our chromoly 35 spline axles. Here's our stub shaft, and of course I got the long shaft down the ground. So we're going to go ahead and slide everything back in really quick and be heading out to the desert. So let's get things going. Get the joints in the axles. First thing I do is we're going to go ahead and use a file and just make sure there's no burrs on it. After, I'm going to clean it up, put a little bit of grease, and then we'll go ahead and assemble the joints. Once we get that taken care of, I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of grease on the eyelets, and then I'm going to grab some lube for the caps themselves and put a little bit of lube on the inside, and then we'll start to assemble. Make sure you put the C-clip, or Jesus clip I love to call them, because when they fly they go bing, Jesus. Anyway, makes sense if you know what I'm talking about. We'll get this thing together really quick and slide the axle back in. Taking our joint. Obviously we have a recessed side, which matters. Here's our recessed side. So this goes in like this goes in like this. From here, we slide our clips in. There we go. To show you what I did is I came inside with this. I went ears in first, pulled it around, and it popped right on. So I'm going to reach in with my screwdriver from behind. Just make sure down all the way. As you can see, we are. Alright, so really quick, one of the things I really actually like about the design is that clip. Often I think the number one reason my axles fail is because the spicer clip will find its way back and out between pressure and maybe the cap rotating because you're under throttle, and eventually at some point I find all the time the little clips on the old U-joints would be walking out. Some people actually weld those in because that's such a real problem. That's why I'm actually looking forward to this new style. To me, this could be a big win, and I'm hoping that this works out in the long run for me. So we're gonna find out. There, you can see how it went in. So the ears go forward. Alright, axles all put together, grease is in the fittings. We're ready to slide it back in, reassemble the hub, and maybe even test it. We are going to go ahead and do one thing different this time. Originally I was going to put the Puks in, but I actually have a set of Yukon hubs inbound, and I'm very excited to give these things a shot. And the reason for that is the old hubs were, well, protruding a bit. They were probably about dead even with that tire. And so, I mean, yes, I'm not happy with what happened with them, but at the same time, I mean, I should have held up a little better. So the perk of the Yukon hubs is they're actually going to be lower profile and set in. I don't know how much yet, so what I'm going to do is we're going to leave one side on, put this side back together, put this Yukon hub, take a full measurement, and really see a difference. From there, we're going to head to Johnson Valley, and well, if you're going to really test something, that's the only place I could think of. All right, now that we got the spindle nuts on, we're gonna go and torque them. So while spinning the hub, we're gonna torque it to 50 foot-pounds. Then we're gonna back it off, and I say go snug on the next one, not 50 foot-pounds. I know there's people that say put the next one to 50 foot-pounds. Don't do that. You just eat bearings for no reason at all. Just good snug. Then when you put on the second nut, you can torque that bad boy down. It'll also increase tightness. You want to make sure the spindle keeps moving freely, and it's important to spin the spindle as you're tightening the first nut. You'll find that sometimes it doesn't sit quite right, and when you spin it, it'll pop on, and that's good to go. We have our 3 different setups here, and so we got our Yukon lockout hubs, our Warren hub, and you can see it's a little Bluetoothed, and then we have our full Puks set. And you can see the complexity definitely is, between the hubs is about the same. There's some pieces missing and moved, so that's why it looks, I do like the bigger springs. I mean, these things are much larger. And one of the things about the Yukon hubs is they fail in lock position, where the Warren failed in unlocked position, and when actually they failed in partially locked, so it was just kind of about to break. Now, why Puks, you might be asking. Puks are about as strong as you get. And it still sort of gives you the ability to go ahead and disengage. You'll just pull these 3 bolts, you pull this out, and you slide your puck out, and it allows you to disengage. And that's really what Puks are great about. So, you know, even though this is fast, it might take seconds. This takes seconds. This takes a couple minutes. Still allow you to disengage. 100% why you should have hubs over just straight to the spindle. Let's get these things installed, why don't we? All right, we're gonna go ahead and put a little bit of grease on all our seals really quick. This will ensure that there's no binding. Doesn't take much. We just wanna make sure they slide and seal. So, once you do that, we should be able to reassemble these things. Everything that's gonna have movement on it, doesn't hurt to put a little bit of grease on it. It doesn't have to be a lot, just like everything else. A little bit of grease goes a long way. You just want things not to get stuck, so bring your container. Done a bunch of these over the years. Did the Warren hub ones, gosh, a bunch of times. Clip. One thing I do like about this clip's gonna be easy to get out versus the Warren one, because I'm not trying to work around something. Now that I'm here, I'm simply just gonna be putting on the last piece. All right, ready to go together. The only tool you need to assemble this is a 5/30 seconds. So now that we have our grease on, simply go on. It looks like I hit the right spot. And it's a 5/30 seconds Allen. So sorry if I wasn't clear. This is the only tool I needed. You don't need this killer tight, just need it tight enough. What I'm feeling is that plastic washer cinching down. But you don't want to over tighten these things because you need to take them off easy. There's not really any force on these bolts except just holding this hub into position. And lock. A little tight. Everything's on here. But I can tell you right now, axle spinning. Going to free. Oh buddy, it's a little nail. Got that. A little tight still. But we're disengaged. I'll show you what's going on here. Alright, so you can see we're in free spin. I'm gonna go back here. No spin. I'm gonna go back here. Lock. Now we come back here. You can see you heard the axle lock. Everything don't spin. And that's how we install hubs. So now that we got the hub in, let's do a few tests. One, I want to see how much depth we have clearance, because this is definitely a lot more space. And as we know before, the hubs were sticking out pretty far, and I caught them on rocks, and that's what, you know, eventually ended the life on them. We also want to see what kind of metal they are, see if they're metal or a steel or aluminum. And the aluminum was, like, honestly not a good thing for the kind of place it's going to hit rocks. Let's check this out really quick. All right, so we got the hubs on. They're 7/8 of an inch, like, more recessed into the rim. Why is that important? Because the worn hubs were basically flush with the tire. These are 7/8 of an inch in, so we got, you know, almost a full inch of space recessed in. That's going to help protect it from hitting rocks and things like that that are protruding. Honestly, it was flat with the rim, which meant if the rim was touching a rock, so was the hub. The other good thing is these things are steel. Every component is steel or a steel alloy. The magnet hit it, picked it up, no problem. On the Warrens, everything was aluminum except for that one fuse ring, they call it. And so the outside piece was aluminum. The lock itself was aluminum, and so was the housing or the gear or whatever you want to call that one piece, the hub-centric piece. That all was aluminum, so all in all, this is a big improvement. Steel will last. Also, based on the design, if something does break, this is going to fail in engaged. Now, one thing I'm going to have to do differently is the old ones, it was easy. All I needed the Allen, I pulled apart, and it popped out, and it was in free spin. This one, I'm going to have to carry a pick, pocket screwdriver, just something small to take off that C-clip that's on there, or that ring clip on the outside, and then it'll all come apart and fully disengage. With the clip in, it's going to be, it'll be engaged no matter what. So there is a drawback or positives, according to how you look at it, of how this fails. And, well, be honest, if this was my Jeep last weekend on the hammers, it would have been a positive because I wouldn't have had to worry about it disengaging after the center of the hub blew out. It was still bound in, lucky for me, but you know, things go wrong. So let's get the other side wrapped up, get a wheel on, and let's see how this looks. So we're now inside the rim, which is nice. We're probably a good ½ an inch inside the rim. Before we were outside the rim, which made sense how it kept getting beat up. So much better. Let's get it on the rocks and see what happens. About a year later. All right, so we went out in Johnson Valley. We put the Jeep through basically hell for about a week. And this included all the hard trails, you know, jackhammer, sledgehammer, outer limits, you name it, we did it. Got back, reassessed the vehicle, and honestly, it held up strong. The hubs are in great condition. The drive shaft or the axle joint was in perfect condition. So, you know, like, well, really from there, we need to test more. So from there, we went to High Desert Roundup, which is out by Barstow, put it through some hard trails, including some big waterfalls, major bind obstacles, things like that. Ran out to Moab, did a bunch of trails out there, up to Big Bear, you name it, we put miles on it. And then, of course, to finish off the testing, I wanted to do the same thing that broke the front end the first time, which is the Gen Right Reel Hammer experience. And this is where, on Outer Limits, I was trying to go up the first major obstacle and blew the front end apart. There's some rocks sticking out. I guarantee I hit him again. So this year, we went out there, breezed through that obstacle, no problem, front end held together. And not only did we do all the major trails out there, so we finished jackhammer, sledgehammer, outer limits, you name it, that was in the race. But we also finished, and just at, a little over 3 hours. So I want you to think about that. It is the true beating. And of course, you think I'm going that fast, right? You know, this is hammer's pace race kind of thing. Your vehicle is going to be destroyed. Like I say right now, the axle's strong. The joint looks great. And the hubs themselves are perfect. A couple minor scratches where before I guarantee would have destroyed them. So overall, the Yukon hubs held up, and this was a big win.